And just like the beach crashed to the tide of the sea, I remember the sand suddenly in the sky hitting us like shells. The ringing in my ears, not quite like bells. For once, I thought, I am away from borderlines and tragic cries. Behind me, I hear laughing fathers and loud mothers. And in front of me, I hear the welcoming of the waters.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Monocle, and I am a poet and a fashion design major. So I want to talk about what really got me into poetry and what kind of pulled me into the arts. I grew up in a very low self-esteem background, and I was never really taught to actually love myself and to feel powerful. And then after seeing my environment and then seeing society and how it was and how women are so belittled, I decided with myself, I was like, you know what, I am a woman, I am a beautiful woman, I am all that I'm ever going to be. This is what I have, and I have to work with it because I have no choice. So that was my drive to get into poetry. And it was around my sophomore year in high school. I had a really bad relationship with my mother, and I just started writing. And the thing is, I wasn't a writer because I couldn't actually make stories, so I started going into poetry. And I'm a really awesome public speaker that I've heard. So I started performing in my school, and it was just that drive of self-love. I really wanted that confidence. I really wanted to value myself. I didn't want anyone else to do it for me. I didn't want to have that dependence on my parents or on someone else to love me and to actually understand me. I wanted to do it all on my own. So I think that's a really, really important message to send out to women, because I want them to understand that, you know what, maybe you aren't a poet, maybe you aren't an artist, and maybe you are, but either way, you are who you are, and this is all you're ever going to get, and you're beautiful and gorgeous, and you're so strong and powerful. You just have to let it happen. So inshallah, I hope you take my words, and I hope you understand I hope you understand where I'm coming from. It's a very, very passionate place in my heart for women empowerment and valuing yourself. It's so very important. I grew up with just my mom and my sisters, and so that's something that I've always been surrounded by, women, and you know, you are a woman and you can be as much as you want and no one can stop you. Thank you.
And living crisscross are together, cried my mother. As the boy was laid to rest, clung to his chest, his orange t-shirt, which in bold green said, "Let my olive tree die or live free." Mother's son, father's son, people's son, all skin, Palestine's living team.
My name is Nida Abubakar. I am the daughter of founder and CEO of the Holy Land Foundation, who is now serving a 65-year sentence. And when my father went to jail, I was about 14 at the time, which was in 2008. I'm 21 now. So when I was just 14, I was up on stage for the first time in New Orleans. It wasn't even at home, like in Dallas. I was in a totally different city, and I was there for an MLFA banquet. They asked me to speak about my father and everything that I have ever gone through. So you can just imagine the pressure of being a 14-year-old on stage, speaking to people you don't even know. That right there probably set the fire to what I'm doing right now. So I learned that being a public speaker at just the age of 14, a lot of people started coming to me for advice, you know, and I feel like because of everything that I've ever gone through, you know, from the death of my sister to the imprisonment of my father, everything that I went through, I take that as like a life lesson. And I just want to pass that on, pass everything that I've been through and everything that I learned to the younger girls out there who don't have anyone. I feel like God put me in this position so that I could be that someone for all of those kids, not even just little girls, little boys, whatever. You know, I just want to be there for everyone who needs someone to look up to. That's why, inshallah, one day I want to be an art therapist and go to like refugee camps and, you know, focus on the children there and help them overcome their hardships through drawing everything out, because sometimes words can't express how you feel, but a picture can. Just one picture can, you know, explain 1,000 words. And you don't have to be a guy to travel everywhere. You don't have to be some sheikh to give advice. No, it could be just a regular girl like me. If I can do it, so can you. And that's what it's all about. You know, being a woman, achieving your dreams, you can do it.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Asma Muhammad. I am a 17-year-old high school junior and I am a tennis player. About 3 or 4 years ago, I was involved in multiple sports, but I was never really committed to them. And so as I got older, I realized that I needed to start taking care of my body because I didn't really do enough exercise and I wasn't eating healthy. And I realized that, after all, my body is an amana from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so I needed to do something about it. So I decided to join tennis. And through tennis, I did struggle a lot, especially it being a sport where both genders play against each other, and tennis season is normally when it gets super hot. So me being a hijabi, that was always really hard. And I was fortunate enough to have my coaches and teammates be really understanding, and they allowed me to play only against girls, as well as, during Ramadan, I never really went out to the court or anything.
For the girls out there who are interested in doing a certain sport yet feel as though there are boundaries or something that are just restricting them, go for it. Break the boundaries.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Fatima and I am a dental hygienist. What dental hygienists basically do is we examine teeth, we check for oral diseases, basically providing a preventative care and helping patients and educating them on how to maintain a healthy smile. What inspired me to do this was I wanted to get into the dental profession for as long as I could remember. I had a passion for it, and it actually started at a very young age. It was my first dental visit. It went horribly wrong, but ever since then I've just had an interest in teeth. And as I grew older, I just came to realize that this was what I wanted to do. And I know many of you guys might, feel that this is not for me, or I'm a muhajiba and what will people think, if I'm a practitioner getting into the healthcare field. But from my personal experience, it's all been positive. I personally think I do a lot of good dawah in the healthcare field because a lot of people don't know, and once you really get to know them, you're practicing and you're out there and just talking to them, they get a good view on what it's like, being in a hijab. So it really is, it's rewarding in both ways. I get a lot of girls asking me whether this is the right profession for me, or is it stressful being a hijabi, in the healthcare field. And honestly, I haven't had any rough experiences yet, alhamdulillah. I think it's more of a positive experience, and I think it's if you look at it this way, you're doing a lot of da'wah because if your patient comes in and they don't know anything about you and they have this negative perspective based on what they've seen on the media or on the news, and you're doing your part to make them feel as if this is not how Islam is portrayed, and we're actually good people, and it's a combination of da'wah and just accurate work. So alhamdulillah for that. So it's great, I think. To conclude, I just want to throw this out there. Each and every one of you is out there to do something different. Even if you're not fit for the healthcare field, you may be fit for something else. Just keep up with what you're doing. Don't let anything hold you back, and aspire for your dreams.
The inspiration for me to start fencing was actually originally my mom's idea. When I was 9 years old, I started. She wanted a sport that was modest because popular sports like gymnastics and swimming, you have to wear things that are unmodest as far as the Islamic way. And so my mom saw fencing and she said, hey, well, this covers everything. And so that's kind of what pushed my mom to put me and my sisters in a sport to where we could be active and still stay modest at the same time. The hardest thing about being an athlete and being a Muslim woman, or just a Muslim generally, is probably Ramadan, because you have to fast and you have to train. Especially whenever it comes down to a competition, you want to fast. A lot of people think, oh no, it's okay not to fast, but as far as for me and my preference, I think that it makes me stronger. Not only does it build your iman, but at the same time it makes you feel like you're more powerful because you're getting closer to God and you're doing this for your religion, and so you feel like you're stronger. Whereas other people would say, "Oh, don't you feel like you're tired or you're weak?" No, I've never felt that, and I've been fasting ever since I started fencing. So I have not missed a Ramadan during fencing, especially in London, 2012. Ramadan coincided with London, so it was really hard. A lot of the Muslim athletes were fasting, but it brought us all together. It brings the community together, so I think it's a really nice thing. I think that this shows that you can be a Muslim woman and you can still involve yourself in things and be strong. This allowed me to find my strength in something. It empowered me by knowing that I can still be a Muslim woman, I can still be modest and do a sport, and it gave me not only empowerment but discipline and other things that helped me strengthen my iman. Young girls out there, growing up, if you want to do something, especially whether it's a sport or a passion that you have, do it. Don't think that you can't do it because people are wearing things certain ways or because people are doing things that aren't right, but you feel like it's different. Do what you want to do.
What inspired me to go into the field of counseling is actually a lot of things that I've dealt with my family throughout life. Being a daughter of a political prisoner, being sentenced for 65 years, and having watch my sister pass away in front of my eyes. I think a lot of that stuff really affected me to want to be a counselor even more. I taught for a few years before that, so I've been working with children for a while, and as Muslims, I feel like we have such a stigma that if you need counseling, that means there's something wrong with you, and that's not the case. If anything, I think when you fall and hurt yourself, you go to a doctor. It's the same thing. We have feelings and emotions, and when we're hurting or we need advice, there's nothing wrong with asking for help. I just think that as a Muslim community, we still don't look into that as something that we need, and so that's something that drove me to go out there and pursue the counseling. I felt like I wish there were people when we were in school to help us in these things, and so I really loved the fact that I was able to go back to the Sunday school and be a counselor and be there for the kids as well as adults. So it can be really challenging trying to balance everything, especially being a female, going into the work field. I taught for a few years, and then I went to go to my master's. You face challenges if I was the only Muslim one in the program at the time. For me, I was like the first Muslim to wearing a scarf to be in the program. I had professors who told me to quit the program, who picked on me rigorously just to leave because of who I am, my religion. But if anything, that helps motivate you to strive for better and to be a good role model and to encourage others to open the door for more people to go into to whatever field you want to. So I've always just wanted to help people and be there for people, just kind of to provide a leaning shoulder to cry on. I just think that if there's anything that you want to do, do it. Do it. Make sure it comes from the heart. Don't worry about what other people want you to be.